And one of the things that can't be attacked is your self-custody Bitcoin. And one of the things that can be attacked is the ETF. You can't be exposed to that. That's my view. It's not a good idea. And by the way, that'll hit MSTR too. It'll probably hit other stuff as well.
Friends and enemies, welcome back. Canadian Bitcoiners podcast.
Friends and enemies, welcome to the CBP. Want to be better informed? Listen to Len and Joey. Sponsors taken care of right off the top. Bull, Bitcoin, and easy DNS. The media is feeding the slop. It doesn't matter what topics discussed. Quality entertainment and information you can trust.
That's being planned or at least discussed. You know, we're not going to allow
quality
people to buy
entertainment and information you can trust. Send the guy some value, boost them with some stats. Bitcoin is a scarcity asset. I mean, it's just a fact. Geopolitical, national, down to the local cloud.
Friends and enemies, welcome to yet another edition of the Canadian Bitcoiners podcast. I'm not doing this one solo this time. Joey's off sick, but I do have Boomer with me. Boomer, how are you, buddy?
What's up, Len? Doing great. Joey's on the bench. We had to take him out. You know,
not doing that well.
Yeah,
he just has something. That's all. He'll be back. It's not like it's terminal or anything. It is, you know, just a few days. He'll be back at it. Have you talked to him verbally?
No. Can he speak? Has he lost his voice?
I'm assuming so. The only time I have taken a sick day off was when I had the vid and I couldn't speak. I was unable for me to, you know, the other time I disappeared was because there was a smell of sulfur in the air and I just couldn't stick around for that. That motherfucker. But yeah, other than that.
Well, here I am coming off the bench like Kirk Gibson in 88.
Yes.
Was it 88, 89? You told me before
88,
the show.
88. Yeah, I think he was pinch hitting for the pitcher, if I recall correctly, because Steve Sachs was on deck and Sachs was the leadoff hitter. Man, I knew too much about that time.
I guess that was
the Jays are playing
well.
today.
And that was October. Yeah, the Jays are playing. And that was October, right? Like it had to have been October because that was the World Series.
It sure was.
Jays at 8:00. So tune in for this. You know,
I thought it'd be a 7:05. Jimmy Key versus Jamie Moyer, battle of the lefties, 7:05.
Yeah, Jamie Moyer pitched until he was like almost 50.
There's an interesting stat with Jamie Moyer. I don't know what exactly, but when he retired, he pitched to approximately 11%. I don't know exactly, but it's quite something like that of all players that have ever played in MLB baseball. It's considering like how long it spans. Yeah. Like it's insane that he's done that because he pitched both the National and the NL. And the AL. So he was able to do it. That was the time before there was interleague and all that shit. Anyways, we got to talk about the sponsors today, and we got two sponsors. We got to talk about. You know what? Number one, I still have the clip. Let's have Joey do the first sponsor. He's going to do Easy DNS. Let's tag in
Time Machine. Time Machine, Joey.
The magic of the internet. Here you are.
Easy DNS, the best place for you to host your content. Buy a domain, port a domain, anything to do with domains. Mark's got your back. We like Mark. He's been a friend of the show for a long time, friend of ours as well. And him and I will be doing a couple of different, I think, chats at the conference. We'll be on stage for it together. One is just the two of us about Bill C2, the wolf in sheep's clothing, I think the talk is called. Not pulling any punches there. Anyways, if you're a Bitcoiner, lots of stuff for you over at EasyDNS on the virtual private server side. You can run a Bitcoin node, Nostra Relay, set up a BTC Pay server implementation for your shop. Don't use Shopify, that's for sure. He can take care of all that for you. For a couple extra bucks, you get domain share and easy mail, which honestly, if you're doing anything related to a business or hosting client info, or you have an email list or whatever, you want to protect those things. And these days, a lot of people are gunning for that information. It's sold on the dark web. It's used nefariously. And you can imagine all the things that could go wrong if you lose your client list or client database. So Mark can take care of you there too. All you got to do is go to easydns.com, put in the promo code CBP Media, and you get 50% off your first round of buys. Can't beat it.
Thank you, Joey. Wherever you are right now, thank you. You did a fine job with that ad read. We got a second sponsor, and that would be Bull Bitcoin. Boomer?
Bull Bitcoin. What's the best exchange to buy your Bitcoin in Canada?
Bull Bitcoin.
Bull Bitcoin. Also, Bull Bitcoin announced as yesterday or this weekend at some point that they're expanding to even more countries. So even if you're not in Canada, I think Argentina was the new one that they announced on the weekend. So several countries out there, Mexico, France, several other than Latin America. Bull Bitcoin's where to go. Non-custodial Bitcoin, they never touch your Bitcoin. No chance that they're holding it on reserve. None of that. It's put in your money, get some sats directly sent to your cold wallet, or you can try out their new wallet, which I've been using now for about 6 months, and I think it's great. Recently released the iOS version. I've been using the Google version since it came out. The iOS version. Geez, Len, do you remember? Wasn't the first time we met, but it was the second time we met in Toronto.
Yes.
Francis was talking about the Bull Bitcoin wallet, and it seems like it's finally the vision that he had at that announcement. It seems like as of now, you can do it now. So I suggest everybody go out there and try it. Even if you're in the US, you can still download the Bull Bitcoin wallet. You might not be able to buy Bitcoin on the wallet if you're in the US. I think it has to be supported by whatever country you're in. They have to do business there. But you can use the Liquid wallet. You can it's Lightning enabled as well too, so you can move stuff around that way. Highly
use a VPN, man. Just use a VPN. I got to try to get around that. Yeah, man. Pretend you're in Argentina.
And look in the comments for CBP's Bull Bitcoin code. What is it? 0.25.
It takes something like that. It takes that off every buy and sell in perpetuity
forever.
So if you're going to be doing, right. Like if you're going to do buys and sells, which you are going to do some buys and hopefully never sell with Bull Bitcoin, it's going to be cheaper for you to do it in the long run. So you might as well use our code to sign up. It does help us as well.
The best guys in the business. Like we're going to talk about it a little bit later, but this weekend I was at the Canadian Bitcoin conference, and as always, Bull Bitcoin, the busiest crew there, right? Like all the people want to talk to the Bull Bitcoin guys because everybody knows that they're just the best in the game, and it was a home game for them.
Yeah, Montreal certainly was. Then they made a trek to Toronto for another event, and I couldn't attend because I don't want to get into that. But we'll just leave it the way it is. Either way,
well, you'd have to get out of your basement.
No, it's beyond that. It's much beyond that. Illness in the family we're dealing with, and it's pretty bad. And so I'll leave it at that. Well, we got some boosts. Got to rhyme off here. Number 1, Dan Wedge, 100 sats. He says, great to hear from Mike. Money Talks just lost an analysis. Could Joey be the new guy? And he says B with the Bitcoin symbol. Very cool way of doing that. So maybe Joey's not here to say yes or no, but he could potentially be the new analysis over there. Who knows? You're a big Money Talks guy.
I'm listening to Mike Campbell since way before I was in Bitcoin. So like well over a decade. I don't think I've missed an episode in 12 years. Like truly one of the most important voices, I think, in Canadian finance, Mike Campbell. If there's a Hall of Fame for Canadian broadcasters, which I'm sure there is, like I do hope that Mike Campbell gets enshrined.
Dan's once again, Dan Wedge, another 113 sats. He says, great rip this week, Len. Joey needs to run knots. Joey needs to run something. But you know what? You could lead the horse to water. That horse has to drink by himself, herself, itself, whatever. In this case, Joey, man, run something. Let's get you to run.
Joey keeps running. He's going to tear another ACL or another Achilles. So I don't know.
Then it's even more
Maybe
opportunity.
He shouldn't be running.
Wartime, 133 sats. A couple of beer mugs doing a cheers. Mo BTC Dick, 500 sats. He says the episode titles are on point lately, lads, and that's Joey's work. So good to him. Kudos to him for doing that. And last but not least, we got Samuel Bell 13. Just simply donates 500 sats with respect to an interview that we had, or Joey had, with Mark. It was 2 weeks ago, I think. So appreciate all those sats. So if you want to give us a boostogram, and top 5 will be read in the next episode. Also, this Wednesday, stay tuned. The Rock Paper Bitcoin folks are going to be either on our show or Joey's going on their show. I'm not sure if it's a home or an away thing, but you've met them, right? You met them this past week?
Not only did I meet them this week, I was actually in attendance for that recording. So D and I may or may not make an appearance in that. There weren't enough mics to go around. So D and I kind of held back, but we were there.
So fundamentals and business cat. Did it sound like a CBP episode or a rock paper Bitcoin episode?
I think it was a CBP episode. So
coming out Wednesday. Then there you
probably
go.
coming out Wednesday. Joey was leading in that for sure.
Awesome. All right.
And I do a cameo, small cameo.
Is it of course it's the video on this. I want to see this. I want to see a photo bomb by you. Anyways, that's it for the things I got to list off the things I got to do. Let's talk about some Bitcoin related stories. Number one, talk about the conference just took place, the Canadian Bitcoin conference in Montreal, October 16, 17, and 18. I did not go. Romeo saying he was disappointed that I did not attend the conference. You know what? I couldn't go anywhere this weekend, even if I wanted to. There was an event I was supposed to go on Saturday. I couldn't even say what the heck it is, but anyways, I couldn't even go to that. I'm stuck for the next little while. It's not me, somebody else, and it's impacting us here. But either way, what was your experience like at the Canadian Bitcoin conference in Montreal, Boomer?
Well, you were missed, Len, as always. Like I had a great time with you when I went to Toronto 2 years ago already, right? Over 2 years, because that was June of 2023. Right? Yeah. So yeah, this year was great
24.
again. No,
was it? No, you're right. 23. You're right. 23.
It was May or June of 23.
Yeah.
And then 2024 was also May or June 24, but it was in Montreal. And then this is the second year in Montreal. So this was the second year at the Rialto Theater. The venue is just perfect. It's a beautiful, just an absolutely beautiful venue. Daniel and Manuela, the organizers, they do such a great job of just organizing the thing. They're running around the entire time. The volunteers did a great job. I'll be honest, I was there for most of it. I missed Thursday, the hockey game. Canadian team took it on the chin again in the Hodlers Cup. The Americans took down Canada 9-0.
Holy fuck!
So if you're a Canadian Bitcoiner listening to this that has a pair of skates and can slap the puck around a little bit, definitely reach out to Corey at Hodlers Official. I think he's they're hurting over there on the Canadian side on the hockey game.
Wait, let's not exit this topic yet. Who played goal? Was it Ryan for the Canadians?
It was Ryan again. So Nuclear Bitcoiner was in goal, and give the man some credit. Like I didn't attend this year, but I did attend the game last year. And Ryan is not an incredibly experienced goalie. Like he's there because they kind of don't really have anyone else to do it. And he tried his best, and he wasn't that bad. They were just bombarded with the talent on the American side. The American side have a couple of guys that are actually really good.
Yeah, they have some ringers.
Yeah, they had two guys Brendan Gentile, who I think you've had on the show before. I don't know if he's still affiliated with them, but he was with BTC Trading Cards.
Right.
BTC Cards. Yeah. You had him on a year or two ago. I think he was drafted by the Bruins or something. It's him, and he might.
Fuck?
Yeah, and the other guy might even be better than him. It was some kid who's 19, 20 years old, who's 6'4", who can just there was no touching these two. So
we can't is Wendell Clark a fucking Bitcoiner? Is Dougie Gilmore can we not go? Is Patrick Waugh Bitcoin? We could fucking
Montreal. We could get Guy Carbonneau to get out there and play some defense over there. Kurt Muller, where's Kurt Muller when you need him?
Yeah, I want Saku Koivu.
Vincent Damphus.
Yeah, there's a fucking number of guys we can fucking
bunch
call.
Of guys.
You know what? I fucking willing to bet a lot of them if they're fucking shit winners. I'm just fucking.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I did meet a couple of
space. It just seems like they're going to be fucking shit winners. I don't
think so. I don't.
They're fucking halves.
I think they're good guys. I know a couple of them. I know one for sure. I know one guy. I know he's not a shit corner, but really he's a good dude. So yeah, I wasn't there for Thursday, but I was there Friday and Saturday. You'll have to have Joey when Joey comes back next week. You'll have to ask him a lot more about the talks, because I'll be honest, I didn't really attend a whole lot of the talks. To me, the conference, just like it was when I was with you a couple of years ago, I spend most of my time just kind of outside the area where the presentations are, and I'm just sitting there. I just want to meet the people. To me, it's very much like a big meetup, right? There's so many people I want to talk to. It's hard to see all the talks. I did catch Francis's talks, Larry Lepard's talks, a few more, but for the most part, it was I was socializing outside, and it was great. The energy was absolutely fantastic. Like I said before, the venue was fantastic. Overall, I thought I'd have to see the final numbers. So maybe Daniel and Manuela maybe can let us know. But it seemed like there were maybe fewer people than there were last year. Maybe not a lot fewer, but there definitely seemed to be less. But the people that were there last year, it seemed like they were all committed. Like it was very high signal. I didn't talk to anybody who was a crypto person at all. Everybody that I talked to was a Bitcoiner. There seems to be more people that are working in the space than there was last year, but there were not a lot of Bitcoin curious people. It seemed like the people that were there were already Bitcoiners, and just little chats I had with the vendors that were there, they kind of said the same thing. For example, QuickBit. Are you aware of QuickBit? They run like a brick and mortar Bitcoin store in Saskatchewan.
Yeah, I remember dealing with
Yeah. They sell stuff over there. And I was talking to them, and they said that there was a lot of people that last year their sales last year seemed to be better because there were a lot of newer people last year than there were this year. So I don't know.
Yeah, so David is saying that 460 people registered this year. That's maybe more added than Saturday. So yeah, so apparently there's more this year than last year. I'm not sure, did people back out or something even after registering? Because the price of Bitcoin did go down a little bit just before the conference, right? I'm wondering if that had any impact of people's attendance over there. Who the fuck knows?
Maybe.
You know what?
Maybe. And also I think just like something that I noticed, there were a lot of panels that were paper Bitcoin focused. A lot of treasury company stuff, a lot of MNAV being talked about, and Joey, who is the MC, did not. he used it as an opportunity to crack wise a couple of times. So maybe the we're seeing 70-80% declines in some of these stocks, right? So maybe that's what it was. Suit
Pablo says it well.
There you go. That's very well said, Pablo. But for the organizers, when they were organizing the conference, the suit coiners and the treasury companies, that was all the rage. So here they are a few months later, where the fad has kind of died off a little bit, but those speakers are still scheduled to come on.
Yeah.
So it kind of goes to show that the Bitcoin space in general can change pretty rapidly. That being said, there were still lots of great talks. They're still fantastic. One that really stuck out for me was another guest that you guys had on, Matthew from Wilfrid Laurier, the Wilfrid Laurier Bitcoin Club. That young man is doing a lot of really good work. He's a developer now. So he's one of the few North American ARC developers.
Yes, so and he's going to be coming on a show in a not too distant future.
Great.
Because Bitcoin Plus is going to be, there's an event taking place in July of next year in Toronto, 22, 23, 24, I believe, something like that. I'd like to attend that, and I think he's going to be there as well. So
great. Yeah, he is. He definitely is. I talked to him about it.
Sweet.
So it was great. So socialize, obviously lots of conversations had. The after party, there were, I think, 2 after parties. I wasn't invited to the super exclusive one that Joey went to, but I went to the
what? Like I'm offended for you, man.
Yeah,
you know what
that's
I mean?
All right. I'm a man of the people then. I'm a man of the people.
Yeah, but eventually you got to get wined and dined. Like, you can't just be like me and just sitting in the basement all day. You got to be like more of an upper echelon pleb, right? You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck? You deserve it, brother.
I did attend one of the after parties that was put on by Bitcoin Well, Adam and crew over there at Bitcoin Well, and they did a great job. It was packed. It was absolutely packed.
You didn't do like uninvited. Like, you didn't show up and fucking take a slice of pizza, right?
No, he didn't. In the speaker's room, right? To go to the speaker's room and then bring Chris Sky. So Chris Sky, Chris Sky was his +1, and he showed up to the speaker's room and stole some pizza.
Let's not go there. Hey, did you hear Decentral? Were they there?
No, they were not. I didn't see them anyway. I didn't see them. But But there were apparently there were people there that I didn't see. Like I told you earlier, like I was pretty social there. You mentioned Rock Paper Bitcoin. I hung out with those two guys like the entire time. Like so it's definitely possible that they were there, but they definitely didn't have a booth. But aside from them, the regular Montreal, the pillars of the Montreal Bitcoin community were all there. Like obviously Bull Bitcoin, Panties for Bitcoin, some of the other companies. The Brock Rewards team were all there. They're from Vancouver, but Scott Deedles and Seb Bunny and Travis and all those guys, they were all there.
And you didn't get
Bitcoin
sick.
Whale, Shake Pay.
Like, you didn't get sick. You came out of this pretty much unscathed.
I'm not sure. Like, I honestly, I had a super busy day at work today, so like, I haven't really come down and relaxed. You know what I mean? Like, I'm still kind of maybe running on adrenaline a little bit from all the conversations I had on the weekend, and then straight to work today and being pretty busy because I missed a few days of work. But I definitely have a bit of a headache and my throat's a little bit scratchy, so I've already taken tomorrow off to kind of rest up because I feel I might be coming down with something.
You could take a bunch of days off because AWS is still down, from what I understand, right? And it's impacting just about everything. It's like the internet is built on AWS, so you can just
my Pokemon Go is really slow today. Like,
what the fuck?
Priorities, right?
Yeah. Did you notice anything besides your Pokemon Go AWS? Man, I can't believe how much of an impact that had in the rest of the internet, like Coinbase and a bunch of others. Like, fuck.
I didn't feel it. I know some people were having trouble with Signal. I literally the app Signal. I didn't notice any problems.
It was Europeans apparently that were having the majority of the issues with Signal. I don't know why, but that's what is being reported. But you know what? It's going to show me that there is an issue with Signal with being totally decentralized. When Signal can have issues, when it can be interrupted, when a third party, their servers go down, my faith in Signal goes down with that as well. Like, I'm looking at Sessions or Key or something else, perhaps as a better alternative. Maybe they're equally as shit, but I'm actively looking for some replacement for Signal. Like this, it's left a sour taste in my mouth. I don't know about you.
Simplex is one of the ones that the guys in my meetup use quite a bit. They're pretty OPSEC focused, pretty extremely technically knowledgeable, and they swear by Simplex. So I've used it a little bit. I can't say it's good or bad. It works just fine for me, but I haven't had any problem with Signal.
Doesn't mean it's the best just because you haven't any problems yet.
Exactly. For sure.
Well, anyways, good thing is Bull Bitcoin, they didn't have any issues with the AWS thing. Like, AWS was impacting, as I mentioned, Coinbase and probably some other exchanges. They're saying that your funds are okay. Come on. Your funds are not okay if it's with Coinbase. They fucking hold on to it. They own it. So if something goes wrong, you're going to get the rug and they're going to run away with it. Like, they don't give a fuck in the end. So, whatever. Treasure.
I'm reading fundamentals in the chat over here saying that we didn't mention that the Rock Paper Bitcoin guys recorded with Joey, and we absolutely did. So fundamentals, go back and listen. We absolutely talked about that. Coming out on Wednesday. Yeah.
We gave we dedicated a good 2 minutes to that.
2 minutes.
Maybe 2.5 minutes. Yeah. That's considering we're 23 minutes in, that's almost 10% of the show. So be happy.
So this AWS thing, do we know anything about it? Do we know any of the reasons why it happened, or are we just kind of a little bit too soon to tell?
I think it was reported some sort of API issue. I'm not sure exactly what was. That's all I heard. Something with to do with API, but it just goes to show you how much we rely on AWS, on Amazon for just a lot of critical internet infrastructure. But, I think this is a good opportunity because there were a number of people saying that the number of users increased. And there was some talk, I don't subscribe to this, but some talk saying that it was some people just spinning them up on Amazon servers. So they weren't really economical nodes. They were just simply somebody just doing it. That, I guess in the next few days, we should be able to look at the numbers to see how many nodes went offline during this time. And if there was a noticeable drop of knots and or core, then we could say, not definitively, but we could say, you know what, there's a strong correlation between that and AWS going offline. Perhaps you may be running some of those nodes on AWS. But if there's no change or it's negligible, then you can't use the argument. It's hard to say that somebody's just using Amazon servers to spin up knots nodes. It's not the case. So this is an excellent opportunity for Bitcoiners to get the data, analyze it, and to prove this narrative wrong.
There was a little bit of talk of this, and I really want you to have the knots and core discussion with Matthew when he comes on, because it's something I did talk to him a little bit about. And very early in the conversation, like, I realized that his knowledge of this topic is way above mine. So I actually brought in some of my friends from here in Ottawa who are a little bit more technical, not a little bit more, a lot more technical than I am on this subject. And it was that what you just mentioned there about nodes being spun up recently, and maybe being spun, I'm not going to say fraudulently, but maybe kind of spun up in a maybe
just a way to boost numbers.
Boost a way to boost numbers. Yeah, like one person maybe boosting up a ton of nodes just for the sake of putting up numbers. That was something that did come up on Sunday during that conversation.
Okay.
I thought that was a little bit interesting. What about hash rate? Did you notice anything special with the hash rate? Again, like, I had a super busy day today. I didn't have time to look at any of this stuff. Did we see any meaningful decline in hash rate?
I don't know if it was any meaningful decline. I know we hit an all-time high just before. It was like 1.1 zettahash or whatever. But I don't know if there was a drop. I don't think we noticed a drop, considering that miners are doing things on their own stuff. Like, I don't think they're utilizing a third-party Amazon server to host anything. I think they're doing it as all in-house as much as possible. But
okay.
Anyways, Magic Internet Math is asking or saying that he came to the conference in a suit. Is he the only person that was there in a suit?
I don't know if he was.
So
No, he definitely was not the only person in a suit. He was also the only person in an Ungovernable Misfits dirty hoodie for most of the conference. So, like, yeah, maybe he had a suit on for his presentation, but he quickly took off that suit to put on a sweatshirt that looked like it hadn't been washed in a long time.
So in that case, he would just blend in with the rest of the Bitcoiners, and you wouldn't be able to tell him from Adam or Steve over there.
Exactly.
Basically blending in, yeah. Anyways, are you going to be hitting this Trezor event going on October 21st? I'm not sure if you saw this, but apparently they're doing some sort of big reveal, big announcement, October 21. You're a Trezor user? Nah.
I'm not a Trezor user. We shouldn't talk too much shit about Trezor. Don't they have, like, it's not the worst reputation in the space? Like, I have heard people that I respect and value their opinions say that Trezor is not that bad as a kind of an onboarding type of wallet.
I'm going to have to confirm this, but didn't their users get rugged by a hack, or am I wrong? Where they were able to get not funds lost, but names and addresses associated with owning a device. For sure, Ledger had that. Was that also a Trezor thing?
I don't know. Ledger for sure. Trezor, I don't remember, but it's certainly possible.
And Trezor, you can't, at least the old devices, you had to have a physical hookup to a computer in order for it to work.
Yeah.
Right? Like, let's go air gap, man. Like, this, we're at a point where we don't have to fucking deal with this connection bullshit. Let's fucking... Yeah, Ledger has the worst reputation, as they fucking should, Ledger. But you know what? Remember when Ledger had the fucking hat that they were pushing, and in that you could put one of your Ledger devices in it?
Or the chain.
Holy fuck! Like
buy it at Best Buy. You could go and buy them at Best Buy. Like,
fuck. And Pablo's even saying the OG boomers still have the main stack on Trezor. I have zero faith in that device. If you're going to do it right, air gap the motherfucker. Don't expose your keys to the internet. Make sure every time you do an exchange, do a signing of a transaction, it's air gap, man. Don't fucking have anything connected. Don't mess around. It's not like you can go to the bank manager and have them reverse your transaction. Once a transaction has been built it has been put into the next block or a block, it's done. It's gone. It's finished. There's nothing that you could do to undo that. So you got to make sure it's done right. So
it's
that's my
something
spiel.
that
That's
Joey
fine.
said, I think last week or the week before, not last week, the last time he was on. Treat your Bitcoin on chain as if it was 10 times or 100 times more valuable than it is now.
Yeah.
That-
NVK
there
says
is-
that.
NVK, yeah. There is something to be said about, okay, you just onboarded your brother or your sister or a friend of yours, and they just put a couple of $100 in Bitcoin, and you don't want to overwhelm them too much with something overly complicated. Look, I use a cold card. I'll admit it. Like I'll say, I'll use a cold card, but it is more of a learning curve to learn how to use that device than some of these other things. And for some people, the newly initiated, it might be easier to have them like with a device that's more user friendly.
Yeah.
But you definitely,
I get that.
if you're using something like a Trezor or a Ledger, you already should be thinking about your next answer. Like you want to move up from that. And I'm not going to sit here, and Len's not going to sit here and tell you like how many sats or how much dollars, where's that line? But
one sat, I'll say. I'll go
better.
out the fucking on record to say, if you have one fucking sat, you should have it on your on your cold card. See, Pablo is saying there's people that do one thing and say something, or say something and do something else. Like, right, there are hypocrites out. Like, you know what it is? There's enough evidence out there to say why you should do it a particular way. People have been rugged because they clicked on the wrong thing. Their computer has been infected with a virus or whatever, and then somehow their keys were lost. They think they were sending a transaction to a particular address, but it went to a different address. You got to do it right. And the way I'm describing it, if you do it properly, if you set up your keys offline, and this is going a little bit. This is like the extra mile, but this is the one I'm a big fan of. Not just only having your own node. You got to have that, but even your own dedicated computer just with Sparrow. Is that way, that computer, you're not doing anything with it. It's always offline. You only turn it on, update it, then just do the interaction to sign your partially signed Bitcoin transaction. By doing that, that computer is not going to get impacted by bullshit. Like, you're not using it. It's just like, that's what you have to do. Like, you have to think about this. Like you were saying, it's worth 10 times the value that it is today. And if you do that, you will treat it with a lot of respect, because again, if you're going to lose whatever you have, if you have, half a Bitcoin, a quarter of Bitcoin, a third of it, whatever the fuck it is, and you lose it, you're going to feel it in a few years. And you wish.
I agree with you. I agree with you. Like, I'm not arguing with you at all, but I am aware that this whole Bitcoin thing, it's a lot for someone who's brand new.
Yeah.
Right? And
there is an evolution though.
Yes.
Like you don't come in and do what I'm saying right off the bat. It'd be great. But there are people in this space that have been in this space long enough. And this is why I make fun of the What Ledger Did podcast. Because the guy's been, at least before he left and started doing the other things, he was in this space long enough. He knew the bullshit that Ledger is all about. And to push that on somebody, that's the wrong message, because that is the entry point, right? And that's they go there to listen to him. But if he's showing them something that's better, that's what you got to do.
Yes. If something is a little bit more difficult and a little bit more intimidating, it's better to do that than to have to do it all over again. You know what I mean? You do something that's 90% as hard, and then you have to redo it because you didn't do the absolute best practice. I think there's this gray area here. As far as everybody should run a node, but if you just got into Bitcoin yesterday and you're not running a node, that's fine.
100%.
If you've been in Bitcoin for 5 years and you've been dollar cost averaging $100 a week, then you should be thinking about a better hardware solution than a Trezor. But if you're new, if this is one of the first times that you're listening to a Bitcoin podcast, first of all, welcome. Glad to have you. You're not too late. Don't be overwhelmed. Take it a day at a time. Priestess in the chat just says, like, we have BTC sessions tutorials. yeah, like BTC sessions tutorials, but are great, but they can be a little intimidating when you've just started, and then here you are like listening to some guy for 2 hours how to use a hardware wallet when you've just learned how you don't even know what you own.
Now,
I'm just looking at the chat and laughing.
Was ShakePay at the event?
They were at the event. They were.
Did they talk about their new Lightning
Yeah.
implementation?
Yeah, I was actually a beta tester for that implementation. So
can you talk about it at all? Because I'm curious to hear because I know there are a lot of people that still use ShakePay, and I'm curious.
Yeah, it works. It works pretty well. It's a pretty seamless. You don't even really realize that you're using Lightning. It's a withdrawal, and instead of putting in your Bitcoin, as you would withdraw your Bitcoin on chain, you put in a Lightning address instead of a BTC address, and then it just says like, okay, this is Lightning. It's good. It's not perfect. It's not liquid enabled, which is something that's important to me, because I said right from the get-go here that like I'm a Bull Bitcoin wallet. That's my daily driver. So I would have liked something that I could move into liquid and Lightning. So they only do Lightning. It's also not the greatest for transactions. It's fantastic for, okay, you just bought some Bitcoin. Maybe it's not enough to go on chain because you don't want a UTXO that's small. So you're going to put it on your Lightning wallet. It's great for that. It's not great for you're at the farmer's market and the farmer accepts that and you want to pay in Bitcoin, because it requires an extra step. You have to confirm every single transaction, just like a regular BTC transaction. So overall, it's really good. You say what you want to say about ShakePay and about certain things that happened over there about data breaches and
remember that?
And Ethereum still being on their platform. Say what you want to say. They are a very user-friendly experience. It's not an overwhelming experience for someone who's new to Bitcoin.
It's the ledger of Canadian exchanges.
I think it's better than that. I would say it's better. I don't think it's that. I do think they're a good company. I don't think they're trying to rug anybody over there.
I don't think Ledger's trying to rug anybody either.
I'm not so sure. I don't know enough about them to say yes or no.
I don't think they have.
I'm not sure if Ledger is a Bitcoin company or a fiat company.
It's a fiat company, certainly.
Yes, that's what I'm alluding to, and I don't think ShakePay are fully a fiat company. I've had enough conversations with people there that work there to know that these people are Bitcoiners. They're just appealing to a different consumer than the guys at Bull Bitcoin are. And look, I got Bull Bitcoin swag behind me. Like I love those guys, right? Like but I have all of these tools. Like I have all the exchanges. Anybody ask me what's the best exchange in Canada, I will 100 times out of 100 say Bull Bitcoin. But I do understand for some people that ShakePay is a little bit better of an onboarding tool. But just like we were talking about the hardware wallets, at some point you want to get the person from ShakePay on to Bull, just like you would want somebody that is on Trezor onto Coldcard. And that's just my opinion. I'm not gonna talk any shit about the ShakePay people because I like them.
And speaking of Lightning, because it's the topic we're just discussing, not sure if you heard, but Square, they started deploying out their terminals that include Lightning on it. That include, you could allow customers to pay in Bitcoin.
I've been hearing about this for as long as I've been in Bitcoin, I think.
It was supposed to be a huge rollout this year, to the end of the year. Finally, we got one company called Compass Coffee, and that's in DC, Washington, DC. Joey, I hope if you were still there, you could have visited them and checked them out. They now enabled over there, you have the ability to pay with your Bitcoin. Cool stuff. You're right. We've been hearing about this for a long time. And I think now it's becoming a reality. And I know that they were going to be rolling this out a little bit. And then sometime next year, every merchant will have the ability to do it. I don't think it's, if I recall correctly, you have to opt in type of thing. But just to have this out there, it's showing that Bitcoin can be not just simply a store of value, but a medium of exchange. And
it's going to need to be very easy, because the vast majority of these people that are using Square terminals have more than enough shit to worry about than one more thing.
Doesn't it automatically convert?
Better be easy.
Doesn't it automatically
I hope
convert?
so. Yeah.
So, and if that's the case, then there's no skin off the back of the merchant. In fact, if it's an automatic exchange, and if it's done like that, you don't have to wait for settlement with Visa or Amex, or sorry, the MasterCard Amex.
Yeah, it's final settlement.
Right.
And the fees are significantly cheaper, right?
There you go.
Unless you're making 25 cents, unless you're going to the bulk bar and buying jujubes for a road trip, and you're buying 25-cent purchases each time. Unless you're doing that, it's going to be significantly cheaper on fees. Transaction fees will be a tenth.
That's very exciting.
It's a no-brainer. If it works, it's a no-brainer. It's just getting people, like I said, a lot of these people that are using these Square terminals are farmers markets. They're people like that have 100 other things to worry about other than one more method of payment. So I haven't used it. I haven't seen it. Obviously, it's still being rolled out. Nobody's really seen it.
Only the Compass Coffee people that have seen it.
Yeah, it just better be easy. Because let's just face it, if merchants wanted to accept Bitcoin, they could. There's a million ways to do it.
There's also the stumbling block too.
Yes.
Of the tax, and I hope
that better be it.
This gets resolved. Because that I'll be honest, I think that's a sticking point for some folks over here that just don't want to go through the hassle of then reporting it to.
Yes.
Or it's IRS or CRA, whatever.
It's the most important thing from a policy standpoint that can come out of Bitcoin. And I don't know if we are 100% in agreement on this, but I know you and I share a very similar view on strategic reserves and stuff, that we just don't really care. Like I don't care. But this, I actually do care. So if I could get governments, the Canadian government, the US government, European governments, everyone, to make one thing about policy regarding Bitcoin, it would be this: de minimis purchases. First of all, there should be no taxes on Bitcoin. In my humble opinion, it's a currency, it's money. Like there should be no capital gains on Bitcoin or gold, to be honest. Or just like there's no capital gains on UX. Right? Like if you go to the United States and you buy $5,000 worth of US dollars before you go, and then you come back and you've only spent a few hundred, and then you exchange back to Canadian dollars, you're not paying tax on that arbitrage. So why are we paying tax on Bitcoin and on gold? I think that this is, of all the things our government could do, I think this is pretty easy. Like you
think the Canadian government though is going to make that change? I
hope so.
They probably wouldn't. Mark Carney in the past, our prime minister, has talked unfavorably about Bitcoin. Now that was quite a while ago. His tune may have changed, but we haven't heard anything. And his main opposition, I've spoken about his flip-flopping on Bitcoin, and I can't see him going and saying, "Oh, let's make Bitcoin a currency. Let's not tax it when people use it for." I can't see him doing that. I could have some
We could have de minimis rules, right? So everything under $500 or whatever to start off. I would prefer all Bitcoin transactions are tax free, but if they said like, okay, under $500 or under $200, like at least that's a start. And I think that would be a major step in the right direction, and much easier, I would think, than some, big policy about a strategic reserve.
Yeah, and on the flip side too, it would also put a bullseye on you if you are spending your Bitcoin. Then you are basically, and it's identified to the government you're spending your Bitcoin. Then it's like, okay, I own it. Like let's. So that's the other thing. It's not just doing that. It's then there's the fact you are basically declaring that you are a Bitcoiner and you have Bitcoin.
I got a question for you, Len.
Yes, sir.
If taxes on Bitcoin transactions were removed, right, let's just say in the United States, for the sake of argument, the United States government executive decision, Bitcoin transactions are exempt from tax. Does the price of Bitcoin go up or go down?
That's a good question. I'm undecided. What do you think?
Same here. Completely don't know. I think in the short run would probably go down, but in the medium to long term, it would be some of the best news that we've heard about Bitcoin in a long, long time, and it would probably be a major positive. But my guess would be the initial reaction would be a lot of people would want to sell, and that would be a buying opportunity of a lifetime, not financial advice.
Interesting analysis. And so you were talking about the strategic Bitcoin reserve. I'll be honest, I don't give a fuck if they do it or not. And
Same
are you the same? Like you're like that? You don't give a fuck, right?
Yeah, basically, I think a net positive, but a slight net positive.
It's just the manner in which you're doing it. You're going to be using, it looks like, a part of their seized Bitcoin as funding it. So did you hear about this latest story where the Department of Justice seized 127,000 Bitcoin, sorry?
Yeah. And before we get into that, and I know you want to get into that, I want to get into that. Before we get into that, shout out to Brian Hirschfield's book, Bitcoin for Institutions, who talks about what we were just talking about before, about how Bitcoin, his book is Bitcoin for Institutions, but it's actually the story of the end of the book. It basically said like Bitcoin is for individuals, and so it's very difficult for
moon if cap gains get lifted.
I agree in the long run, not in the short run. Yes, about the seizing of the pig slaughtering. Now, when you heard that the first time,
pig butchering.
When you heard that the first time, were you like me and you actually thought it was some scam regarding like
yes, 100%.
I completely thought that.
I never heard this term before. Like I thought it was like some pig butchering or pig slaughtering business that was involved in Bitcoin.
I thought too, but that's
right?
not what
but apparently
pig butchering
it's a
means.
term.
It's a term.
Right? People that are hopeless romantics out there that are willing to pay for something and they end up getting fished into some sort of crypto scam, and then they end up paying, and that's essentially what the pig butchering is. Like they're just,
it's a scam.
Your finances get slaughtered in the end.
Yeah, so a social engineering scam, I guess, would be the all-encompassing way of saying it. So this, as far as I understand, these people had a call center of some sort
in Cambodia,
and were calling people to scam them out of their money.
Yeah,
and in some cases they were getting the person being scammed to send them Bitcoin. And in other cases, they were the scammers were converting whatever they got into Bitcoin. Do I have that right?
Yeah. So they had 127,000 Bitcoin in total.
So why aren't we doing whatever we can to get the people back their money?
That is not the United States.
It's not the government's money.
Yeah.
It's the people's money.
That's the argument that people are saying, is that there are people out there, they may be fucking dumb as shit because they were scammed, but still the rightful claim is they should get their funds.
Yeah.
Now, granted, the Department of Justice has not said what they're going to do with this. It's assumed that they may keep this for their strategic reserve, but it's not certain. They may still give it back. So in terms of what they're going to do with this, we don't have any definitive answer as of yet. But that whole idea of giving it back to the people that lost it makes perfect sense to me. Like if somebody, they're dumb as shit, they're lucky that DOJ stepped in and they may be able to get what they lost. But that's who they deserve to get it. That's the reality of it.
Or at least giving the people who got scammed the option of, it's like, okay, do you want your Bitcoin back? But I guess that even if you do that, how do you ensure that, okay, if the dollar value of when you got scammed or the actual Bitcoin,
they're better off than where they were today. if they get a fraction. At least now the U.S. stepped in, and I would imagine people from all over the world were subjected to this type of romantic scam. Right? Who the fuck knows what they were targeting? But I guess everybody around the world was part of it. To give you an idea, this is $13 billion as of yesterday's price of Bitcoin. That's so much. This is approximately $13 billion. Another question I have is this everything? Is, you know, when the DOJ stepped in, you know, they fucking stormed the place with their stormtroopers, and they ended up getting the keys. Was that all the keys? Did somebody hide something? Like, you know, I wonder if there's more to hear. There's more that they have. They just didn't voluntarily give up everything. And let's be honest. Like, did they leave the shit on the exchange? Did they just have the keys just sitting there for somebody to take? I don't know. Like, what is their key management? It sounds like it's shoddy if this is the case. To rack up $13 billion, I don't think they're fucking dumbasses to do this. They must have some other corn they must stash somewhere else. I think there's more to it than meets the eye. I don't
Definitely.
think
The story is still early. We still don't know that much, right? People were arrested. There, right? There will be, I assume, there will be a trial, like, and then maybe we'll get information out of that. But
so
I
company,
don't like it. I don't like the
Price Group,
season.
whatever they're called. They're going to get sanctioned. What? They're just fucking jurisdiction shop. They'll fork into a different name and go somewhere else, and they'll just fly under their radar like that. Or let's be honest, they could just close shop and reopen somewhere else under their brother-in-law's guidance. And there's, you know what I mean? Like, this is just, it's a whack-a-mole type thing. They'll never stop this.
A slight tangent, but I am staying on topic here, and I'll bring it back in a minute. What is the demographic of the people that listen to your podcast, like age-wise?
Mostly, if I were to guess, Joey's probably a better indicator of this, but I'm going to guess between 35 and over, like to 50.
Yeah, well, I just bring this up to say that if you're listening to this, you're probably not the target for some of these scammers. That being said, be careful out there with these types of scams. One thing that I did hear in Montreal this week from Michelle Weekly, of all people, was have a safe word. Have like a safe word when you're talking to your family. So like some sort of password that you know for sure, that if it sounds like your cousin or your brother or your sister, you can ask them a specific question and only they will know the answer to it. Because with AI and all this stuff, it's going to get more and more difficult to know that you're being scammed.
That's a good fucking point.
Be very careful out there.
That's a good fucking point.
Yeah.
I'm wondering too, like this whole thing, like the $13 billion they had just sitting there, it almost reminds me a bit of FTX in a way, right? They have the romances going on, the fucking orgies, the fucking money being coming in and coming out. It's not theirs. That's what it kind of reminds me a bit of, right? Like,
I know there's already been a book written about FTX. Michael Lewis wrote a book, but one day there will be a real book written about FTX with the actual story. And I think we're going to find out that FTX was a lot more, there's a lot more of a conspiracy there than meets the eye.
Do you see that they're trying to like soften the whole narrative, the whole story behind SBF?
Yes.
It's like they're rewriting history in a way to make
I know.
it so.
And I'm torn on this because I want that guy to stay in jail. However, I have an ongoing bet with Julian Figueroa for 100,000 sats that he gets released in the next 10 years. So
15, what's he serving?
15 years. I took the under on 15 years and he took the over, and we agreed on 100,000 sats. So if we're right about this Bitcoin thing, 100,000 sats in 15 years from now might actually be a lot of money.
Yeah.
So like I might have to fork up a significant amount of dollars if my friend Sam over there stays in jail for more than 10 more years. Because I guess 12 more years. He's probably been in jail 3 years by now. But I got the under on that. I'm feeling really good about the under. So Julian, if you're listening to this, like get those sats ready because I think their revisionist history is about to happen with this guy.
So here it is, 2024 March, sentenced to 25 years in prison. Yeah, I'm going with the fucking under. Yeah, 15 or less. Like something's gonna have to give.
Well,
and he'll
contact
just
Julian
somehow...
if you want in on that bet. 100,000 sats. I got under on the 15 on the 15.
I'm not a betting man, but fuck, I may have to break my. No, I can't. But if I'm gonna bet, like, I'm going to fucking under on this guy.
Yeah, I'm
for
feeling
sure he's
good about.
coming
I'm
out.
feeling good. I'm feeling good.
But I don't understand why they're trying to rewrite history with this guy. Like, what's the point here? The guys,
They don't want him to
fucked over
talk.
clients.
They don't want him to talk. Good. Look, I'm not gonna get you guys demonetized, and I don't want I come on here once in a while. I come on here once in a while.
I do not fucking care, man. Just say what you gotta say.
I think if you look into his parents, look into his girlfriend, like what Carolyn Ellison. Look into her family history. Just follow the dots, man. Like, do you ever watch The Wire?
No.
I think I've been on this show like 3 times. I think this is like the second time I quote The Wire. I love The Wire. You got to watch The Wire. Lester Freeman.
Forgive my ignorance now.
Lester Freeman says in I think it's season 1, where he says, if you follow drugs, all you find is drug dealers and junkies. But if you follow the money, you don't know what the fuck you're gonna find.
That's a good line. You know what? I was going to ask you: is it a movie or a show? You answered the question.
Follow the money. It's a show. It's an HBO show.
Yes. Yeah. I don't give a fuck.
Follow the money.
I'm still trying to catch up on All in the Family right now, so I'm about 50 years behind. I'll let you know when I get out in mid 70s into something more recent. See the whole Paxos. Well, Blue Jays are on. Okay, see you later, PTC Priestess. She's had enough of us because you know what? She wants to see Candy Maldonado hit a 3-run homer. Paxos, PYUSD. That's a stable coin. You hear about this? PYUSD. Yeah. Uh-huh. They did a fat finger this past week where first off, I just want to say this is a stable coin. It's not a terribly large one, but it's got like almost 3 billion in market cap. The bigger ones like Tether and Circle. It's huge. So 181 billion for Tether and 75 billion for Circle. That's their market cap compared to almost 3 billion for PYUSD. Some funny thing happened. There was a 300 million token error. They said they were having, actually it was trillion. They're saying there was an issue that they had with internal transfer. They immediately burned it, but it looks like it was 300 trillion tokens were created. Somebody fucking fat finger to put too many zeros.
Something happened like this with Tether as well a couple of years ago. Maybe it was more than a couple of years ago, but Tether did the same thing, and they also burnt them afterwards.
You know, it goes to show
the story here is that it's possible.
It is
okay.
Bigger than the market cap of the global GDP, by the way. They fucked it up.
$300 trillion. Like, okay,
a lot of these.
Yeah,
a lot of these.
The math doesn't math when you see that. But the idea that like this is a thing that can happen with these stable coins.
Yeah.
It can happen. Now, are these stable coins better than traditional fiat rails? Maybe not. It just seemed pretty normal. It seems like pretty much like par for the course. It seems like exactly what these things are, what the regular system is. If you're in a position where you can make an error like that, then, you know, I guess probabilities say that at some point you will make an error if you can. Mm-hmm. And the retort to that from their side to us might be, well, look at Bitcoin. How many people have made mistakes with Bitcoin selling something, you know, sending Bitcoin to the wrong address or you know, fat fingering a Bitcoin transaction. But when you make a mistake in Bitcoin, you're fucking yourself. Right? These guys, this type of stuff, they're fucking everybody.
The only comparable one can make is the inflation bug. That is it.
Correct.
And so that was a bug in the system rather than somebody going in there and making it. This is truly centralized.
Yes.
You know, there's no way I can run a node to verify how many tokens are in circulation. When I quoted those market caps, that's based on what they're telling me. I can't verify there are that many tokens out in the wild, right? If they have the ability to create and burn at will, they have sloppy internal controls on top of this. It's a shitcoin. It's a shitcoin, a digital shitcoin of a shitcoin. That's what it is.
That's what it is.
You know what? I think it's a good time to wrap up the Bitcoin side of things. What do you say? Unless you have anything else you want to talk about on Bitcoin side.
No, not really. Nothing comes to mind. Like I said, like I was in Montreal all weekend, and I'm still glowing in the effect of all that. So I haven't really been keeping up with the news as much as I usually do. I didn't put in my 40 hours a week this week, Glenn. I didn't get my 40 hours in.
You'll get there. Don't worry. Because of the AWS outage, don't worry. That stuff like Duolingo and all that stuff went down too. So you're in good company, and not everybody reached their goal. So
I'll read one of these Bitcoin books instead.
So on the audio side, we'll be back at this tomorrow. And if you're watching this on video, do nothing because we'll be back. Oh, just continue and do it like we normally do. So last words, Boomer?
Don't be a cuck.
Don't be a fucking cuck. I love it.